Sad news today, Bert.
Like, yeah. Sad news, you say. It's like sad?
Sad
Like,
news.
am I going to, do I need
Sad.
tissues?
You might. I don't know if you know this,
Mhm.
but most people are not going to get to see this episode.
What? Why?
Well, tomorrow is the Rapture.
The 23rd?
Yeah, the 23rd. Well, 23rd or 24th. It depends on if the clouds are covering the moon or not.
Oh, it's going to be one of those. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
That's good to
yeah.
know.
So, a South African preacher had a vision in which Jesus told him that the rapture is coming, and he said it is going to be, what is that, Rosh Hashanah? The Jewish holiday? I think that's what it was.
Ramashwan or I'm horrible at the Jewish culture, FYI.
Yeah.
Ramashwan?
Well, it's I think it's that one.
Ramadan.
Man, I'm gonna have to fact
Is it
match.
Ramadan?
Oh no, that's the Muslim one.
That's the Muslim one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. I can't
Wait a
believe
second.
I'm already.
Is the preacher, is he Christian preacher? You said he was African?
Yes. Yeah, but he is South African, and he's a Christian.
That's why I thought we went
Because,
Islamic on this, because it would make more sense if he was, right? Islamic?
I don't think they have the rapture. Do they have the rapture?
Well, no, but this whole entire story has me perplexed right now. So trying to make sense out of it.
All right.
I wonder what the connection is.
Joshua Malakela, a South African preacher, shared his divine prophecy on YouTube, stating that Jesus appeared to him in a vision and revealed the exact date of his return. Well, it's not that exact. The exact date of his return, which coincides with Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. I shouldn't have second guessed myself.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So it's the rapture, the second coming, and it's taking place tomorrow or the 24th, because Rosh Hashanah happens when the first sliver of the moon can be seen. So if it's cloudy, they have it the next day. So it's either tomorrow or it is the next day. And what that means is half of this podcast is going up into the clouds. That'd be you.
Listen, not biblically. That's not what it say, Nick. It says those that you believe shall be in the gates of heaven shall not, and those that you believe shall not shall. That's what it says.
Oh, well, no,
so
that's
we never
if
know.
You believed you were. Not if I believed you were. But so we've talked kind of about this before. How I think you said there was a passage that says not even the Son of God knows the exact date and time.
Correct.
So one question that might naturally arise is, well, if you can't know the exact date and time, how can this guy claim to know?
Well, I'm pretty sure. I'm taking a guess.
Right.
Pretty sure our episode will still make it out. Hopefully nobody drank any Kool-Aid this pastor gives. Right. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure that's happened in the past. Just saying.
Oh, it has. Yeah.
Couple of people got a little confused when the old hell bop came around too.
Oh yeah. That was real bad.
Do you remember there used to be these vans during one of these end of the world things that was going around, and on the side of the vans, they had all the scripture, and then they talked about the last and final days. Like they had vans going around the state of Ohio when this was happening.
Oh man, I bet they just never made it there. Like we're always the last to get the news. We'd be raptured for 10, 20 years before we ever heard about this.
Well, listen, maybe that's the joy of Canada. You get a little time, you go, where in the heck did all these Americans go?
I know.
100,000 Americans just gone overnight. Well, guys, we got to get ready. Listen, that was legit.
Yeah, we got a few years yet. But so how he got around that, how he's claiming that, or how all these guys claim that it is like it's more like no one knows the exact date or time. And the reason this guy can predict it is because he doesn't know the exact date and time, because the clouds could cover it at any time. So he can't predict that. He just knows the day.
Yeah, because God figured out everything except for the whole cloud situation.
That's what I'm saying. But that's enough. It's got people on YouTube and TikTok selling their cars. They're posting advice videos for when you're raptured. So like one person's like, it's best to keep your arms down. Don't look down when you're going up because the same thing could happen to you that happened to Lot's wife, which I think is that whole pillar of salt thing.
Yeah, pillar of salt, yeah.
Yeah, so they're making like instructional videos of what to do and what not to do when you start floating up. Because I guess it's like literally, people are taking it as like literally they'll float up into the air.
Wow. Very
is that how that's supposed to be? Or
nobody knows, because of course, here's the thing. There are certain Christians that believe in a rapture, and there are certain Christians that don't believe in a rapture.
Right. Which do you think is more likely?
I get argued with a lot. I believe there is no rapture.
Right. I think the people who believe this also believe that people just sit in their graves until this happens.
That is, well, no, surprisingly not. I know someone that believes in rapture, and because there is scripture that says absent in whatever it is, present with the Lord. I don't know why I can't think of that scripture. Absent, is it absent in body, present with the Lord? I believe that is the scripture. So they do believe that. So basically their theory, no differently than, I mean, biblically speaking, if you want to get all biblical and philosophical with it, when Christ was hanging on the cross with the two sinners and Christ looked upon the one that was basically like, this man is here that, you know, shouldn't be here. He said, I can assure you today we'll be together in heaven. So the theory is when he died, instantaneously heaven. And the caveat to that is, if not so well, then, you know, then you're in hell for the other one.
Man, what if he meant just that guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, that's kind of scary there.
Well, they say that the 3 day, well, a theory, I'm not saying this is what biblically is said, but the theory is the 3 days that Jesus was gone, because there was a lot of people that died before Jesus,
right?
That he ministered to them for 3 days outside of heaven to bring those people to heaven.
All of them?
Well, the ones that wanted to believe.
Oh, okay.
Could you imagine? This is blasphemous. I don't mean this to be blasphemous if this comes off as blasphemous.
This is usually my part.
You're hanging out in hell and this guy comes that you have no indication of, and he starts saying, I'm Jesus and this is what I got going on. Do you believe? I'd have been like, yep.
Yeah.
Don't know who you are, but it's got to be better than this.
What have I got to lose?
Exactly. You're kind of on that bottom rung already.
Yeah. You're like, you tell me anything, I'm going to go for it. Like,
you know, the amazing thing is there's a lot of different theories about what hell is, but I don't really see compelling information biblically that tells me what hell is supposed to be. This is basically absence from God. But what does that mean?
If you believe stuff that Dante Alighieri put in like the Divine Comedy, which is like, people don't realize, people always call it Dante's Inferno, but it was actually 3 books. It was Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. It's just that 2 of those are so boring that no one talks about them.
Yep.
But in Inferno, the further you go down into hell, colder it gets.
Oh, interesting.
Because you're further away from God's warmth, right?
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. And down in the very deepest parts of hell, there's only 4 people there. One is the devil, who's frozen up to the waist, stuck there. There's Caius Cassius, Marcus Brutus, and Judas.
Wow.
Because they get devoured over and over again by the devil.
Wow. That's deep.
That is deep. But I mean, this is just a story this guy wrote as far as I know. But there's like, this is where you get like, have you ever heard someone say the 7 hells or something like that?
Oh yeah. 7 levels of hell. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was from that book.
Huh. Touche.
Yeah. Very interesting, that part. Though the other 2 books, so boring. So boring.
They're just not good.
I mean,
they're good, but they're boring.
Well, they're good for the people there, but they're not very interesting to read about. Because the purgatorial one it's pretty nice. It's a big open field and stuff. But the punishment there is you can see heaven from where you are, but you can't get there and you can't talk to anyone there. So you're kind of like, dang, if I was just a little bit better, I could have been up there. So
I always like to think to myself, biblically speaking, that hell is one of 2 things. You either go to sleep and you don't wake back up.
Right.
In which you would never know anyway, because it's not like you know if you're missing something or not. And technically speaking, if it's supposed to be absence from God, there's no better absence than you're nowhere.
You just poof, you're gone.
Right. The second version that I like to think of is, again, biblically speaking, if it's just absence from God, is that you're just not in that spot, similar to what you're talking about.
For like purgatory.
Yeah.
I think,
I think if you're
for a long time, that's what they said.
See, but then I sit there and I think, like, do I want to be hanging out in that area with people like, horrific individuals from our past? Like, I don't think so.
I don't know. Well, what are they going to do to you?
I don't know. I don't know how that works, because then it even goes back to like the haunting conversations that we talk about, right? Like, I mean, people's probably going to get sick of us talking about this, but like that locations that we just went to 2 weeks ago. Right. Like, okay, well, what are those? And, I've had a few different conversations with a few different people. And, some people just believe they're flat out demons. They don't believe that they're humans in any capacity at all. Right. And it's like, well, I get that, but.
Well, I kind of like how it is in, what was it? The Poltergeist movies. How you have to go, or actually in The Conjuring too. So basically you have to go to one of these destinations, but some people are scared of what's going to happen to them. Yeah. They can't let go of their worldly attachments. So they've seen the light. Yep. And some people are like, well, I don't know if I'm going to go up or down. So I'm not going to go there. It's better if I just hang around here. And other people are like, I can't believe that I'm dead. Like, they just can't accept it. And that's like a common thing. There's people who can't accept a lot of things and they continue believing it even with all the evidence to the contrary.
That's true.
And that's what I think it could be. Like, they get sorted once they go through that tunnel or whatever. And some people just don't want to.
See, if you think about just us as living individuals, right? We struggle with death in general. Right. Like big
that's
time.
A fact.
Like, let's use, for example, I just saw this. I was actually really bothered by this. I don't know why this bothered me as much. But there's a streamer. His name is Asmongold.
Oh, I know this guy. Yep.
Very controversial figure, but I actually like him. I think he's a pretty solid guy. But his dad just died.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And his dad is like a part of his stream all the time. And yesterday he released a video on his main channel saying, hey, here's what happened, blah, blah, blah. And he was talking about how, long story short, it's like 5 o'clock and he thinks to himself, man, I need to call my dad. And then he remembers, oh yeah, like my dad's not here anymore. Right. Like, you get accustomed to stuff. And then I started thinking when he was telling that, I'm like, man, I'm thinking of all the times when, the same thing happened to me. And, it's like every holiday, I think, even to this day, 20 some years later, I still think to myself, around the holidays, all those family members kind of come up in my mind because,
Right.
it's like now preparing for my children and, you got old Saint Nick that's coming and the excitement around all that. And I'm like, I remember those days. And then it brings back memories of those people that we've lost. And then it becomes, okay, like, is it one of those things where, similar to what we talked about, where you're presenting this energy that something can come back through?
Right.
Because Chris McKenna brought up a fact that everyone is around the same time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, like that's interesting. And even John Griffin and his brother Jeremy that he had lost.
Right.
He talks about his brother helps him with paranormal investigations. And in that, Jeremy can almost be like not summoned, but like the energy transfer can be in that moment too.
Right.
Which is kind of a wild thought process to me. So it's like, okay, are they maybe somewhere? And then that energy, like you're speaking or almost like manifesting something yourself. I don't know. Like, I don't know how any of that works.
Maybe
but I want to know.
Day pass.
I mean,
like,
could be.
Well, it's a super common trope in horror movies, which, I watch nonstop, especially this time of year. That actually not just in horror movies. I heard some really good true ghost stories on some shows on YouTube recently that featured this. And that's in someone's time of need. One of their past loved ones from a long time ago sort of reappears in like a light that pushes away the darkness kind of thing. So I think like they have that option, but I don't think you can just do it at will. Sometimes you have to need some help from the other side. So.
I think that I've seen a few paranormal shows now where they talk about how like a loved one from their past is sometimes protecting them from something darker in the residences.
Right. Yeah.
So it definitely could be
one of the things I heard. Yeah. And if you look at like, native religions, or if you think of Dios de los Muertos in Mexico, they believe that their loved ones can and do come back. Actually, even in the mainstream, my favorite holiday, Halloween, is when it's supposed to be very easy for that to happen.
Which is when we release all our goodies.
That's right. That's right. When we're going to release some spirits into the world.
Well, it's funny because I just sent you a day because I came to the epiphany that this is going to take way longer than I anticipated. Just going through footage and trying to, here's the thing. And this is what, again, I didn't think about this. You see something or you hear something and then you stop and then you rewind and then you listen again or you watch again. And then if you're me and you get curious and you're like, man, I had another camera on. Let me go to that camera feed and see what that looks like. And, you pop. So a prime example, I was just saying, I gave a few people some different days when we did this paranormal investigation. Nick is one of them. So I gave you, I can't even remember what I gave you the downstairs, right? Day 2, Wildwood?
Yes. Yep.
Dude, I'll be honest. I was super excited about that one. I couldn't wait to see that one. So I'm a little bit envious of you on that one. But to give you an idea, I've been going through Cam 1 for the Hinsdale house. So that camera started at 18/17/52. So basically I started that camera at 6:17 in the evening. And I've made it all the way to about 1:00 in the morning.
That's a lot of footage to go through.
A lot of footage. Now I can tell you between 18:17, so 6:00 to 1:00, I found notable 40 different instances that I want to kind of look into. Not to say that all 40 is good. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you gotta follow every lead. Like in the small amount that I've watched so far, and that was just on my phone so far. I saw like 3 or 4 things that I want to follow up on more, zoom in, see if I can put a sharp filter on it, and if anything appears there, because there's going to be a lot of things that could be something, might not be something. There's some equipment that I'm not super familiar with how it would work. Like I saw something to do with the laser grid, and I just sort of have to look into that more, because how I feel like that reacts is when something moves in front of it, the dots change to hit that instead of the wall they were hitting on.
Which is interesting.
So I kind of want to see, is there some shape to that, or
like, here's a great example. Like I also gave my mom a cam.
Okay.
She's currently on camera 7, which is the one we moved around because it was having that IR issue.
Right.
But it's funny because we're all on the same spreadsheet, so I can see in real time when someone changes something. I don't know when her camera started, but she's up to 3:25 in the morning. Okay, go mom.
Wow.
But like she's got on here, which I get super excited about this. Tapping sounds, cough, sneeze, or possibly weird noise. Watched several times, but never saw the cat ball move. So she did look at that cat ball section.
Okay. So it must have been our imagination.
At 1:18 in the morning, was we still investigating that area at 1:18?
Where? What area?
The upstairs where we had Cam 7. Cam 7, did we leave that in the doll room or did we move that somewhere else? It started out in the doll room and had the IR issues.
Right. We had to move it on the stairs because that's the stairs one is the one that had the IR issues. So we sort of took that out of rotation.
Where did we leave it at though?
Stairs.
Because she said here at 1:18 in the morning, someone yawned, question mark.
Well, the stairs are right next to the doll room, and I was...
Oh, so this was you,
well,
Nick.
Maybe. I mean, did we stop before 1?
I don't remember. She heard a bang at 1:18. At 3:08, loud bang. 3:13 in the morning, thud sound. 3:25 in the morning, thud sound. So she's finding some stuff.
Yeah.
And like me, if I go to mine, I had a huge, I completely forgot about this. I don't know if I blocked this out of my memory. We got there and I just set up camera 1, camera 2, and camera 3. And I wanted to start the cassette recorder. And it took me a minute fiddling around with it and getting it activated and started, and I got the tape going. I get up off the couch and I walk to the doorway, and it literally sounded like a gun. Bam!
Oh, really?
And you see me physically jump, and I turn around because I thought at first, because I'm so dumb, the cassette probably just clicked the 2 buttons.
Right.
It didn't. It was still running. So
it must have captured that too then.
I can only assume, but here's the cool part. All the sounds, that loud bang was on camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and my body camera. Now, the best part is, because camera 1 was in the kitchen, camera 2 was in the front room, which is where I was.
Right.
Camera 3 was in the kitchen, but on the opposite side of the kitchen. So now, because they're all using the same camera, they're all using the same microphones, I'm going to put all 3 inside Audacity and see which one was louder and quieter to try to triangulate where that noise came from.
Yeah, you told me you were going to try that. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that'll be, because the body cam's not going to matter. It's a different audible sound. So it's not like I can triangulate with that because I don't have a reference point where it matches.
Hold on. I think I'm mixing this up because we at one point put one of the cameras on the stairway that went from the Ouija room to the basement. Which camera was that?
All right, I'm going to cheat because I have access to all these files because now you got me super curious. Let me go to the Deceptive Reality Drive, and then I'm going to go to folders because I've got them all in folders. Static cam. I gave her day 2 camera 7. We're going to find out where this is, where this is located at.
Okay.
So it started out in the hallway.
Mm.
And then it moved to the doll room.
Okay.
And then it ended up in the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
Apparently, I moved it down into the kitchen.
What, the downstairs main floor?
Yeah. I don't remember doing that, but
real certain you did not do that.
I can tell you that.
Well, when did it go to the kitchen?
So these files are named based. I just figured this out. I don't know why I didn't figure this out when it first happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it was named based on the first one's the date.
Right.
So like a prime example, this camera is camera 7 continuous 2025-0907. So it was September 7th when it was recorded. The next set of numbers is the time. So like this one in the doll room, 01-2402. So it started at 1 a.m., 24 minutes, 2 seconds. And it ran until, in this case.
Wait, it was in the doll room at 1 a.m.?
Yes.
So we hadn't stopped investigating at that time.
We couldn't have. Because I had to have moved. This house would end up in the kitchen. It doesn't make sense.
Because when I went to sleep in the doll room, it wasn't there.
I don't know how it ended up in the kitchen. Clearly, I had to have moved it. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. But I mean, that could just be something that we forgot. Like, that's not necessarily anything super weird. I just don't remember you doing that.
The last time it was in the doll room was 128. And then it looks like here it went straight from the doll room to the kitchen. So it was in the hallway. Then it was on that. I remember putting it on that bed on the other side.
Right.
Then it went to the doll room when you guys was investigating. And then it looks like it ended up in the kitchen. Let me see with the file name. Let me see when it ended up. Because there's me clearly sitting in the kitchen. So I mean, I must have moved it. If I would have walked in the kitchen and saw that camera and I didn't put it there, I'd have been like, why is this camera in the kitchen for?
Well, here's the funny thing. Why did you take it to the kitchen and hook it up again?
I don't know.
Because we did no investigation down there.
We did not. Unless my thought process was, this is the only logical explanation that I would have for this. I had that loud bang in the kitchen towards the beginning when we went downstairs into the basement. Maybe I was thinking, well, let me put it in the kitchen in the events that door opens or something.
Well, I just had a thought now.
What's that?
What time did you say it went to the kitchen?
It went to the kitchen at 1:28.
So when your mom heard all those noises and the yawn, I was not in the room.
What time was that? Dude, that's creepy because that kitchen was right where we slept.
Yeah. What time did she record that on the spreadsheet?
Cough, sneeze, or weird noise. That's at 2:21 in the morning.
So that was not in the doll room.
Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. I'm wrong on that. I looked at the format wrong. That was at 22:17:32. So that would have been 10 o'clock, 10:17. In which Jess did have a stuffy nose at that point. So it's possible that's what it was. But the person yawning, that was at 1:18 in the morning. So that would have still
been.
It would have been at the very end.
Oh, okay.
But the loud banging noise, that's at 3:08. We were already asleep at that point.
And that's right next to the basement stairs where Jess was hearing stuff all night.
And then 3:13, another thud noise. And at 3:25, another thud noise. So I'd be super curious what that, and that's all within, 3:08, 3:13, 3:25.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to my time frame, just so people can understand, the loud bang that happened, that was at 1853. I'm sorry, excuse me, 1853. So 6:53. There was chair movement at 1958.
Mm-hmm.
A huge REM pod hit. 2022. Now, some people's like, I don't believe in REM pods. Let me explain to you. That REM pod was sitting on that table and never went off for 4 hours. So
we got almost nothing out of that at any point other than that.
But there it went absolutely crazy. And it's when Paul walked through the kitchen. Right. And as soon as he got within range, it just shot up. Now, we passed by there, he and I and other people multiple times, never an issue. The second time it went off, Paul jumped up the stairway yelling at whatever he believed this entity was. By the time he got halfway up the stairway, the REM pod shot up all the way. And then he said, oh, whoa, wait, I'm starting to feel weird. And it was almost weird. Almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
So REM pod hit. I marked that one. I did mark 95% bug. And the reason that I put that on there is I really want to use that footage to show people, listen, these orbs that you're seeing, they're really bugs. And here's proof of what I'm working on. But anyway, there was also at 2036 in the floor in the front room, some lights disappeared from my grid, which I thought was weird.
Okay.
So I want to go to that camera and see if there's something there. We were out of the house at one point and I heard walking noises inside the house when we were outside.
Where were we at that point?
Well, this was the Hinsdale. You weren't even there. So myself.
Okay.
Yeah. Myself, Paul, Jess, Tina, and Sophia was all outside walking the perimeter. They were showing me where the gifting tree was and stuff.
Right.
There was no one in the house, but you can hear walking noises. The very weird thing, and I don't understand this, shortly after that walking sound that I hear when we're all outside, there's a phantom beeping noise, but I don't have any equipment that makes that beep. So I'm not saying it's paranormal. It's just weird because nowhere else have I heard that same noise.
The ghost was like, oh, my fries are done.
Ding. But then I've got dead bell response. So this is us asking questions and it responding directly to the questions in perfect unison.
Yeah. So I did rewatch the parts where we were doing that in the basement.
Yeah.
And twice it responded to you instantly.
Yes.
And then
that's what it was
my
doing.
Imagination after I moved it and left it there.
Yeah.
As I was leaving, when you guys saw something, it rang again.
Isn't that wild?
That's the thing. So in my head, in my head, I was like, was I still moving it when that happened? Because it was moving it was ringing when I was moving it. Yes. When I rewatched the video, I was quite far from it. I was in the doorway when that happened.
Well, see, and here's what's interesting. Your observation was that dead bell was gimmicky and just not necessarily something but at the Hinsdale house, we would ask a question and almost instantly it would ding. Now, here's the cool part. Tina would have high radiation and she was talking to him on the other side of the room. She would ask a question. And in some of those occasions, the radiation meter would stop, the bell would ring, and then it would start back up again. So it's almost like it left her, went to the bell, and then came right back.
It's like, oh my goodness, how many times are they going to ask me to do this thing?
But
like,
there
I'm
was
not a trained SEAL.
There was multiple times. The only times that it would not respond, and looking back on it now, I'm like, okay, like if I asked it ring when I go from 3 to 1, and I'm sitting there thinking, if I'm whatever this entity is, and someone's like, okay, perform for me, I'd have been like, dude, screw you. I'm not going to ring that bell then. Like, if this is how you're going to treat this, I'm not going to do that.
Maybe they've got laws where they're like, You can mess with people, but you can't give them any sign.
Well, another interesting thing, and I forgot about this when we did our recap. There was a point where I was going outside and I was dumbfounded because I had this smell of what almost smelled like, the best way I could put it's like a vape, or it was like a sweet smelling, almost tobacco perfume smell, kind of.
Okay.
The best way I can explain it was one of my relatives smoked a pipe at one point and I smelled something similar. Or my dad also had this talcum like cologne that he would put on. And it kind of reminded me of that too. But I yelled into Paul, and Paul had mentioned that he had smelt something floral at one point in time. And he said it was one of his most favorite smells that he ever smelled. To me, that wasn't necessarily the same.
Right.
But when I was looking at it and I started thinking back, when Tina came and told me, Paul and I were standing in the same location when I smelled mine and when he smelled his. Now, to anyone watching the video, they're going to be like, whatever, like you can make that up. Or so it's not like it's valid, but for me, it's like, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. You can't record smells, unfortunately. Not yet. We're not at that stage.
But then dead bell response. Interestingly enough, out of nowhere, just I told it to ring I said, hey, ring a bell if whatever the question was. It didn't ring a bell, but there was 2 knocks in the kitchen right after my question. Oh,
no, that's interesting. That's even better, I would say.
I didn't, and here's the thing, I didn't hear it IRL in the other room. So it had to be close to that camera. But again, I want to go back to that other camera that was in the kitchen and see if it also heard the 2 knocks.
The thing that I think made the Wildwood easier on us is, other than weird activity, the place was absolutely silent.
Yes.
Like there's nothing living in that house other than us.
Correct.
Like, and I wouldn't expect it of something of that age.
I was kind of shocked with both locations. Both locations had stuff that I just did not necessarily, I kind of thought they would be a certain way. But then once I got there and we started investigating, I'm like, this one's drastically different than like you think, okay, I go to this haunted location and it's going to be like this haunted location. It's like, not really. It doesn't work that way.
I think natural life absolutely avoids truly haunted places.
Oh yeah. I would agree with that.
Like if I had my door in the summer or spring open, like we had the Wildwoods open, basically from the time we got there, those guys had it open already. And it was open all day until it got dark. And not a single bug came in there. If I did that here, my house would be full of mosquitoes.
Well, and we even talked about that there. We was like, how is there nothing here? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was just so absolutely dead.
I did find also in mine at about a little bit before 1 o'clock, there was a soft thud and an interference noise on the camera. It almost sounds like a bzz, 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 bzz. And like anyone could say, your camera's just malfunctioning. But I had another camera that was literally right across the room pointing a different direction. So if it has an interference too, it's like,
yeah, that's something.
Yeah, because if none of the other cameras have an interference, now if they all have an interference, all 7 cameras at that exact time, it's like, okay, we can rule that out. That's kind of the nice part of having all those cameras is you can kind of reference other cameras to see, okay, what picked, like, here's a great example. At exactly, I didn't even think of this until just now. At exactly midnight and 49 seconds. So it just turned midnight, 49 seconds later. That's when Jess looked across and saw somebody staring at her through the doorway. That was like right after midnight. It's literally 00-00-49.
Wow, they got timing.
beautiful timing. But I had a camera in the room pointing at the doorway that she would have been seeing something from the other side. So it's like, I can go back to that and see, was there anything there? Now that was just dumb luck. It's not like we knew that anything would happen.
Right.
And, you and I, we've talked about this a little bit ourselves. It's like when you look at these locations, now looking back, there's so many things that I would change. There's so many things I would do different. And that's kind of the beauty of all this. There's like devices that I wish the market had they're not out there.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about that off the show.
Correct. And it's like, now I kind of want to get to the point to where, like, it's not hard to build some of this equipment. It's more of a matter of the timing and the testing and stuff like that.
Right.
And now
that's another thing too. Where do you test it if you're not in a location?
Correct. Because like my house isn't haunted, so it wouldn't do me any good here. Or is it? Maybe it is. We don't even know, Nick. We don't even know.
You've had some occurrences there.
I have, but it's always sporadic. And it always happens at Halloween.
When the veil is thinnest.
Or it's happened at the beginning of the year. We've only had specific things happen, but like, here's a great example. I'm always scared to talk about this stuff because I'm like, maybe I put energy into whatever this realm is and that's what causes it all. But every Halloween special that we put out, I feel like we give a little bit of energy to whatever is there.
Oh, I hope so.
And that's when things has happened in my house.
Most notable, concentrating on it.
That's what I'm wondering. Like the light that was coming on all on its own. Or the fan, should I say.
Right.
I could go upstairs right now, turn my light on. My fan will not turn on.
So that's the same one.
Yes, literally.
For a while there, it was doing it a lot.
All the time. The best notable case, my son had a costume on. I can't remember. It may have been like a dinosaur or something, but it's one of those that has the fan that it blows the air in and it pushes the inflatable out. So he was wearing that. I can't remember what he was. I want to say maybe he's a dinosaur or something. His fan broke literally right before Halloween. So I'm like, let me try to fix this so that way you can still wear the costume. Like, I felt horrible for him because it's like right before it was about to go trick-or-treating. So I'm working on it. And the way this fan was, you had to almost attach it from the outside, but you had to hold the inside. So I told him, I'm trying to hold it to make sure it's all aligned. I said, hey, turn the fan on. And milliseconds after I said it, our fan up top turned on.
Yeah.
Now, my father-in-law was there and his wife, my son, and my father-in-law looks at me and he said, did you just see that? Right after you just said that fan kicked on. I said, yeah, I know. But here's the thing. After that, not again.
Yeah, because I know you were talking about it quite often, and then all of a sudden it stopped.
And we've not done anything with it.
Yeah.
It's not like we had someone come in and fix it.
Just in case, because I know people are going to ask this. Is it a smart fan?
We tested that. We looked up the model, and I believe you and me, we even looked up the model.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah.
And we was like, hey, let's just see. And I think you was even skeptical. You're like, oh, maybe it is a smart. And we looked it up and it was not a smart fan.
Yeah, I do remember that now because I mean, that's the first thing that come to my mind.
Correct.
Like it was a word command that you weren't aware of or something like that. But yeah, it was not a smart fan. So that is weird.
And I even tested it after. Like I would go in and I would say, turn on fan or fan on or what. And I could never get it to replicate it ever.
It's funny because my boss, when new people come to the office, he has this prank that he's been doing for years. He loves it so much. Is he tells people, because our printer is notoriously difficult to use, he tells people that it's voice activated.
Oh my God.
So he says, you got to go in there and he sort of leans on it towards, he said the microphone's towards the back a little bit and it's a little finicky. So you got to be printer, print one page. And then it does it because he's leaning on the button and he knows where it is and they don't. And then he leaves them in there and he lets them yell at the printer over and over again.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Kudos to him for having a sense of humor.
Oh, yeah. He's got a great sense of humor.
You know, for a long time, I even thought to myself, maybe it's our neighbor that has the same fan.
Yeah, you talked about that too.
I thought maybe they turned theirs on and it would cause mine to turn on. But here's the thing.
But that would happen way more than that.
Way more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the last time that I remember it happening. This is so dumb. Jess and I was sitting on the couch and we was watching a TV show. And I'm looking up this fan and I'm thinking to myself, this thing ain't came on in months. In months. And I looked over at Jess and I said, hey, you know what's not happened recently? And she goes, what? And I said, that freaking fan hasn't came on once in months. And she goes, you know, you're right. And we're sitting there and it was maybe 5 minutes later, the fan kicked on.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think we'd be neglectful if we didn't mention again when you were testing out the spirit box there.
Oh yeah.
The sweet or honey tone thing.
Yeah.
In your right before a show. And
it was right after the show.
Right after the show. Yeah, that's right. And they were talking and we were wondering if it just does that. And then you acknowledged them and then never said anything again.
Even at the locations, we couldn't get it to say nothing, even at the locations.
Isn't that wild?
It makes no sense. And the thing that it said, you and I both acknowledged what it said. It said, he says his name is Bert, but it's not. That's a long freaking sentence to say.
It is a long sentence to say. And if I wasn't here to hear it.
Yeah.
Just like probably everyone else listening to us right now, I would have been like, I don't think so, Tim.
It's a cool story there, Bert.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the thing.
Why did we stop the recording?
Because we were uploading. I would have never guessed that would have happened. In a million years, I would have never guessed that happened.
No, as soon as they knew. So maybe there is a rule that you can mess with people, but you can never provide solid evidence.
I mean, it's possible.
Maybe.
It's like that picture I showed you at the Hinsdale when Tina was over there and she was talking to the spirit box. The very first photo that I took, it looked like something streaked across the Polaroid photo. And I'm going to show that at Halloween when I do the special. The next photo I took, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it made no sense. It's almost like, with the exception of the Hinsdale house, Tina would ask a question, the radiation would spike, and then sometimes it would go away. It would ring the bell, and then you'd hear the radiation come back. I think, whether it's dumb luck or whatever it may be, the equipment that I used was good enough to get exactly what we needed. And I'll be honest, this is going to sound horrific. If I watched our episode as someone who doesn't know what we do, I would say, cool video, but clearly you faked it.
That's the thing, because that's what people are going to try to find out when we have the big reveal.
Yes.
Is people are going to try and figure out, like we tried to figure out how we might have accidentally faked it. Like we spent a lot of time doing that because we
a lot of time.
Well, number one, part of me was like, there's gotta be an explanation for this because otherwise we may be in danger now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Because if you remember, just the day before, I had talked to Link, and Link said he was pushed down the stairway.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's like, if something, let's say there is something, let's say you don't believe, and that's fine. But if something can manifest and push you down a stairway, everyone's in trouble.
Yeah, and you can't avoid it because you can't see it with your naked eye.
Correct. It's like Jess and I, we talked about it after this entire investigation happened. And it was interesting because at the Wildwood, nothing really interacted with her. Like she acknowledged things.
Right.
But nothing like was near her to the point to where it was weird. And she says that she believes that it's as dumb as people may think this is too. At the beginning of the investigation, I acknowledged, hey, please allow us into your home. You know, we're here to try to build a story of whatever's here. I'm Bert. This is Nick. This is Jess. Jess is not going to be able to help you, but Nick and I will be able to. So you can try to communicate with us or talk to us. And then shortly after that, we did Tommy's room, and lo and behold, something came through. And no one's going to be able to sell me on the fact that that was just randomly nothing.
Yeah. Like when the equipment was going off, I thought, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But then when we saw what was behind it, it was perfectly coordinated with what was going on.
Right.
But that got me thinking too, because with the radiation meter and stuff like that, like things were passing by all the time.
Yeah.
But maybe not acknowledging us.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think if we had a series of like 20 of them all over the place, I think in sequence, we could have traced the paths.
And here's the thing. If you look at that photo, there's no footsteps. It's literally like a wisp. And you always hear the story of whatever this is gliding.
Right.
And I can tell you that the entities that I have seen, they looked human.
Right.
So this for me, and we didn't see it in real time. So it's not, I think that was the shocking part to both of us, because we're like, what are you talking about? Like, what?
Yeah, we were specifically looking while it was still there.
Right. And saw nothing. So I'll be honest, when we had that, I assumed it was nothing. I just thought Jess saw something that was explainable.
Right.
But she was new to paranormal investigation. So to her, anything would be paranormal. It was my thought process.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, if you've never done that kind of thing and you've not had a paranormal experience, well, she doesn't understand how IR lights work. And heck, I had 2 IR lights on my vest, which became a problem. Again, if I knew what I knew then, what I know now, I would have changed things, because during that vital point, which ticks me off so bad, I had a Medusa vest on. And for anyone that doesn't know what a Medusa vest is, as Jess likes to call it, my nerd vest.
It turns ghosts to stone.
It kind of does. It's got these attachments. So like this is an attachment. This threading that's on here, there's a hole in the Medusa vest with a thread. You would just thread whatever, and you have these poles that come off, and you can put a light on there, a camera. Well, my thought process was, I'm going to have a camera on my face, or I can turn it around and look at anything in infrared. And then I'm going to have this IR light, because the IR lights on those cameras are not necessarily good. They'll go so far, but to light up a room, it's not going to happen. So I had that light, that IR light, lighting up the entire room. And then we had that static cam that was also shooting all that light in there. So from an IR standpoint, that room was lit. It was litty, as the kids would say. But what sucks is I had that Medusa vest on, and I had that body cam sitting. It was like the best way I can put it is, the Medusa vest has a metal in the front. That's how you can attach everything. And underneath that, it had a piece of fabric. Well, the body cam had this clip on the back of it. So, and you guys will see it in the Hinsdale house is a better example, because I didn't use the Medusa vest. So I was just putting it on my shirt. Now, the problem with that is, when you have something on your shirt and it's hanging down, if your shirt's loose, then it's just wobbling back and forth.
Yeah.
So you're never getting a steady shot if you're moving, which sucks, because again, I didn't know that until I came back and started looking at footage, and I'm like, that's going to make me seasick if I use that. So I can't even, like Adobe, you can correct some of that, but I'm like, this is so bad.
This is so shaky you could catch a Bigfoot on it.
Oh, for sure. 100%. But in that room, before we went into that room, I think what happened was I either took it off or I know what it was. I didn't even think about it till right now. I didn't have that Medusa vest on until we went into that room. Because if you remember, I took that Medusa vest upstairs. I bet you anything, that's what happened. I bet if I go back to the body cam, it stops when I'm putting it on the vest. So what happens is I put this vest on. It's got shoulder straps and then it's got a thing that goes around my waist and it clicks. It's like the kids when you get in those shopping carts. It's got that waist thing. That was me, but with a vest. But the way I had to do it was I was trying to click the body cam to the metal part of the Medusa vest. Well, that clip was so long that it was pushing against the fabric that was underneath. And what I was trying to do is get it underneath or between the metal and the plastic so it would fit all the way down.
Right.
The problem is when you're pushing on it, the buttons are on the side.
Every body camera has buttons of the worst kind and the worst placement.
Yeah, because that's how you turn the camera on and off. That's how you turn on infrared. Here's another example. Completely by mistake. When we started at the Hinsdale and I turned the body camera on, you can see me do it. When I go and I put on my shirt, I'm clipping it on. I held down the infrared button and all that footage is in infrared from the start until I changed the battery pack.
Yeah. My body cam, it's got no indicators on it.
Yeah.
So you tap it once to start and tap it again to stop. And at some points I can get confused about which I've done and which I've not.
Yeah.
So I started recording and I've actually stopped it recording. So
see, luckily mine has a screen on the back. But like if I'm putting it on something and I'm I'm pushing, I'm pulling as hard as I can to try to get it between those two layers. Before we went to that room, I clearly turned it off.
Yeah.
Because I went back to review the footage because I'm like, that might be a different angle. But the other problem was I was leaning. So I'm like, maybe I'm only shooting the floor. But it gives me another option to see, do I maybe see the bottom of like the shadow or something? But when I looked, I'm like, there's legit no footage of that entire section. It's not until the next video upload was way later after we reviewed the footage and I had taken that vest off and then I put it back on.
Right.
And, or no, I took it off because I adjusted the side because I'm like, I can't spend all night with this thing. It's got too much wobble in it. And the problem was with the wobble, again, the arms have so much weight. It was pulling the front of the vest down. So I'm like, I want this tighter up top so it kind of stays even. So again, it's like, had I known what I known, I would have done things differently.
Well, but no one goes into their first race and wins.
No.
Like, this is the learning factor.
My body cam I bought when we came back and I acknowledged, okay, well, this is clearly screwed up. I did this wrong. I bought a magnetic thing that it clips onto and then it sticks to, it's got another one so you can put like behind your shirt and it's really wide. Like it's literally, it's probably like the size of this Omi, not sponsored, this Omi box, but it goes underneath your shirt and the front side. So it clips to it. But because it's magnetic and that Medusa vest is magnetic, I think it would just stick to the front of that Medusa metal.
Yeah. I don't know if it'd be like powerful enough to pass through something like that anyway.
It's pretty freaking strong. I know that.
Yeah.
Because like when you get them close to each other, they go wham, like it's super hard. So I don't know. But I did find it interesting. There's some things that we learned, but it's like of all the investigations, that footage of that shadow person, and that's the best way I can describe it. That footage is by far probably the best footage I've ever seen.
Yeah. I've switched to calling it a silhouette. Because when I say shadow, people think of something projected onto things.
Yeah.
And I think that's a poor way of describing it because it's sort of occupying its own space. That's the thing.
That's actually one of the things I want to talk about today too,
Yeah.
because I'm noticing for whatever reason
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok and on Reddit, there's an abundance of people that's starting to talk about the shadow man, or some people call it the fedora man.
Right.
And I was reading over on IFL Science.
Mm-hmm.
And in IFL Science, they were talking about sleep paralysis and how a lot of people will describe seeing that hat man.
Oh, crap. That makes me think of something.
What's that?
Do you remember I told you about the first time I went to New York years and years ago? Or
Yep.
actually, New Jersey is where I was staying.
Yeah.
I was in the basement, and that's when the first time I saw a silhouette person just like we saw in that video, except I saw
was
it
it
with my
the same?
eyes. Yeah, it was the same kind of thing where it's dark like a shadow, but it's occupying its own space. I had seen this once before, but I saw it with my own eyes, and it had a hat on as far
A
as I could tell.
fedora?
I called it a captain's hat at the time because I didn't really, honestly, fedoras weren't something that I had known about at the time. But it was basically a wide brimmed hat because you could just see, since it's a pure black silhouette, all you see is a hat.
Oh,
with
yeah.
a brim on it, right?
Yeah.
So it could have been. I can't imagine why there'd be a captain there. But
I mean,
yeah, now that I'm thinking, it could have very well been a fedora.
and that's what they do. They call that guy the fedora or the hat man.
Well, I'm interested in hearing this now because I also have sleep paralysis, but I never had it before then.
Well, that's what's interesting because so what they're saying is that typically when people sees whatever this is,
right,
it's a man that wears a fedora hat, and usually shortly after you see this guy, something bad happens. Not in every occasion, but in a lot of them. And a lot of people reports this tragic event happened shortly after. It reminds me somewhat of like the Mothman prophecy kind of stuff.
Right. Well, according to that thing I saw, because I don't know if you remember what it told me, is it said if you go to sleep, I'm going to get the hammer under that TV stand and smash your brains out.
Which is crazy.
And then when we checked the next day, it was a hammer there. So it could have been a tragedy.
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah.
Like there's no way you would know that.
No, I don't go looking under people's TV stands.
No. But I did an episode on the Hat Man, on the Fedora Man.
Okay.
And one of the things with that sleep paralysis, and there's a new sleep paralysis thing that you can go to, and they teach you how to get your body out of that sleep paralysis. I forget what they call that. It's a study that they started doing. Let me see. Did I put that in my notes somewhere? I feel like I know I looked into this.
I haven't had that for so long, and I hope I never do again.
People say it's horrible.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
I'm looking. I don't see it. There's a new, in which I'm sure you guys could probably go and look it up and find it. There's a new research where, oh, here we go. Sleep paralysis, one key frame. It's REM, sleep phenomena, where the body is still in REM paralysis, which normally prevents you from acting out dreams, but your mind is partially awake. The mismatch can lead to vivid, often terrifying hallucinations, visual, auditory, and a sense of presence, pressure on your chest. Some people see shapes, shadows, and even figures that seem incredibly real. There's also cultural and emotional factors. Prior exposure to stories of shadow people, fear, stress, sleep deprivation, and oftentimes even using antihistamines or other substances can increase the chance of something like this happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any common factors of when it's happened to me.
Well, the interesting thing is people always see the hat. They say it's like a brimmed hat or like a fedora, like you think of like the old gangster movies and stuff, those fedoras they wear.
Well, I'm claiming now that I did see that once, but in the other ones it was different.
And it very well could be.
I don't know what's up with New York. It's got to be the most haunted place that has ever existed.
I was shocked. I looked at Ohio because, and I've not really revealed this to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think once I get this main video out in October, I really want to start investigating, but I want to start helping people this may be going with some hauntings and they don't know what to do, because now I have a series of people that I work with that may be able to help them. But to help them, it might be easier for them to understand if they have proof that something's going on inside the home. So my thought process is maybe if it's like local to Ohio or Indiana or Kentucky, maybe on a weekend, one night, maybe I can get the house for a few hours and then try to do investigations using the same equipment we used in these other two locations, find something, and then provide that to a team that might be able to help them get whatever this is out.
You know what kind of situation this sounds like?
What's that?
I don't know if you are familiar with how it usually works. Maybe you are, maybe more so than me. But there's people who can't do exorcisms, but they hire them to come in and investigate to recommend one.
See, I always thought
what you could do.
I always thought those was just investigators. I didn't know they had like an actual role.
Well, they don't participate in the exorcism, but they report back because they want to get a third party person in there. Because I think the Catholic Church is kind of like, well, it ain't just us. Like, this is what people thought. And they often get, like investigators who have like psychology or psychiatry backgrounds to see if it can be, does this person actually need medical treatment?
Which makes sense. Like the team that I was thinking about, and I still need to have that conversation, is Chris McKinnell, that runs the Warren Foundation. Like, I'd love to team up with him and his team and maybe try to help some of these families. And, if I can capture something, great. I don't know. I think it might be worth the opportunity to try to help families through those instances, because I feel like I know enough now that I could change the approach and help them get help at the same time and validate their thoughts.
Well, yeah. Well, I think we've got things that work that not everyone's doing.
Correct.
So I think it's kind of repeatable because it happened twice in a weekend.
Correct.
And I don't think we would have got those results without it.
I also do not believe that. And again, when people go to watch this video, it's less about one thing happening, but when multiple things are happening in conjunction with each other. Like a prime example, that basement with the dead bell, you didn't necessarily believe in the dead bell.
No.
But it was responding almost instantly to questions I was asking. And then sometimes it wouldn't go and do anything for a long period of time.
I just don't understand what's going on in the box underneath it. That's what makes me skeptical about it.
Do you want me to explain what it is?
I want you to smash it open and look at it. No, I'm just kidding.
So the way it works is very similar to a REM pod. So what it's doing is it's creating this space with its own electrical magnetic field. And when something interrupts that field, much like a REM pod will just start lighting up and going off, it's doing the same thing. But instead of doing that, it literally has one actuating motor inside that just goes ding.
Oh, okay.
So instead of lights and a light show and all that stuff, it's literally just one hotel bell going ding.
So it doesn't really need the little button on top at all then?
No.
Okay.
No. Not at all.
I don't know. It did some stuff.
Yeah.
My jury's still out on that, but it was interesting.
I think once you see the Hinsdale videos, you'll have a new appreciation for it.
Okay.
Because that, in my mind, was the best evidence for the dead bell working when it's in conjunction, and even ours when we was in the basement.
Yeah.
The conjunction with that radiation meter was almost combined.
Right.
It was like when we was in Tommy's room. Radiation meter, cat ball, shadow.
Right.
Like you can maybe have one thing happen out of dumb luck, but three things happen. I just don't see that.
We should have probably had a temperature thing as well.
You know, I thought about that after the fact, and I thought about buying a temperature thing.
Right.
But my thought process is I've already got all this junk. I'm not going to be able to carry everything to every single room.
Honestly, with all the stuff we had there, we could only use some of it.
It's like phasmophobia. We brought the whole van and we used like 4 things.
Yeah. Man, that thing's so much truer to life than I ever thought.
Oh, me too.
It's like, well, I got to drop this to go pick up that kind of thing. And like we were doing that kind of stuff. We're like, we'll leave this here and then we'll go grab this thing over here.
Correct.
You almost need more people.
You almost do. And I think you and I, we've talked about this. Here's the only thing that I'm a little bit skeptical of. Right. I think that for our content creation and what we do, I think you almost have to have episodes where it's just 2 people. So in this case, like me and you. You can have other people bringing you things or watching. Like I think there always needs to be someone on a camera.
Right. Well, here's the other problem is everyone I know, the only way they'd go is if they got to hang out in the room with Jess.
Yeah.
They're not going to do what we're willing to do.
Right. Yeah. That was the cool thing because it's like neither one of us is really scared to go figure out what's going on.
No.
Now, I'm not crazy enough to sleep in the doll room. That's all you. You can have that.
I put it to a vote on Instagram. I had to sleep in the doll room.
Like, no, not me.
Did you know that I had no idea that one of the dolls had an actual raccoon's head on it until the next morning on Instagram?
Yeah. Well, I know you told me the next morning. I'm like, I'm glad I sleep in there.
I didn't even notice. Someone said, what is that? And they posted a picture of it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that. I'm glad I didn't notice that.
That's so good. You know, it's funny though, because we talk about all these different things that we did and we did not do. And I think to myself, if we could redo a series of this, we could have done it so much better. But I don't know that whatever came to act that day out, that's the only undetermining factor. We can control our things.
Right.
But we can't control if they, and the number, there's two major takeaways for me. One, don't ask it to perform because it's going to tell you to piss off. It's not going to do it.
It seems kind of pointless.
Yeah.
To do that. In fact, I don't even know if there was any kind of thing of us talking at any point was any purpose at all. I think you just got to catch them.
I think that is what it is. Like with the dead bell, every time I would ask and it would respond. But like if I asked it to perform, okay, I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. It's almost like, dude, if you don't believe me when I'm answering, I'm not going to play your little game on this 3, 2, 1.
Right.
Versus,
I was kind of like, why won't it do this? And I'm thinking afterwards, I don't do things that people tell me to do for no good reason.
Correct. But when we was asking questions, it's answering the questions because maybe that's what it wants out.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like, I don't give 2 craps about your little television show or whatever you're making. I'll tell you my story or what I've got going on. But if you want me to perform like a circus animal, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have any concept of YouTube or maybe even television. Right. So when we're asking them to do these things with these boxes pointed at them, they probably don't even recognize those as cameras. Because remember, back in those times, a picture took 90 minutes of standing still.
Yeah, a long time.
So they're probably they're just telling us random things because they're being jerks.
Correct.
You know, they don't have any concept of why we might be doing this. They might not even realize that they're not like us.
They may not.
You know, we talked about how ghosts look like they're floating or their heads, cut off because of how the building has changed.
Yes.
They might not even see these things.
They may not.
Although I feel in Tommy's room, he definitely saw the things.
Yeah, because he followed a path. And what was interesting was he followed a path that was not through us. It was always in front of us. Like when you watch whatever it is go into the room, it goes through the door around you and then to the other side of me.
Yeah.
Full transparency.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I didn't see that IRL.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting on that bed and I didn't want to pay a cleanup fee on that bed. That caught me off guard because it was so fast. Like when we go to do investigations or something like that, it's like, man, it'd be cool if we catch one thing at the end of the night. Please let us catch one thing. But to have it happen the very first room we investigate, like I don't think I was ready mentally for that.
No. And kind of after that, I was like, well, what the hell is going to happen now?
Exactly.
If this is the first thing, because like even like in any task I perform in life, even normal ones, I don't expect something to happen right away.
No, there ain't no way, dude.
You know?
There's no way. Right. And that's my two favorite nights from the wild, or the two favorite events from the Wildwood is honestly that basement and Tommy's room. That's not to say that we didn't get anything else anywhere else, but those two things, I know you're not a fan of that dead bell, but when it was responding and that radiation meter was spiking, and then I saw whatever it was out of the corner of my eye and Jess said, hey, I see something over there. I'm like, oh, that's like, you couldn't script that any better.
Well, I got to give it to the dead bell. The two times it rang when it was in the room with us was at precisely the moment you stopped speaking.
Yeah.
And it definitely did ring after I was away from it when I put it in the other room. And that corresponded when you guys saw the things. You know, on my phone, I didn't see anything at that time. Yeah. Maybe when I watch it on a bigger screen, I will.
And it's almost like full transparency. When Nick picks this bell up, it goes crazy until he gets it into the room and sits it down. So in the video, you'll see that.
Right?
That's just your electrical magnetic field.
Right. Yeah,
no differently than, you know, when you got your cell phone, you put your finger on, it's not because you're touching the screen. It's the electric in the end of your finger. That's why it does it. So it's sensing that electrical magnetic interference is what it's truly picking up on.
Right.
But the interesting thing, and I've watched other ghost channels or paranormal investigators, whatever you want to call it, that also uses a form of that dead bell. What I find very interesting is they ask a question. It's like 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, 4, 1000, 5, 1000, 6, 1000, 7, 1000. Ding. Versus ours. Ask a question. 1, 1000, 2. Ding.
Yeah.
Like there was no pause like I see on these other channels. And then it becomes a question of, well, why is that? Is it because there's
the pump?
I don't know. That's maybe it's pulling energy from that pump and now it's got more energy to have that electrical magnetic field.
Because maybe it's a big chore to do that. And it's like pushing and pushing and pushing and then ding. And maybe it takes 5 seconds when you don't have that. And maybe it takes 1 second when you do.
See, I always thought to myself, maybe it's like pollen. And by that, what I mean is if anyone's ever walked in a field of pollen, you pick up pollen without even understanding you're picking it up and you're carrying it around. What if it's in that moment with us, it's getting this energy without even understanding that it's getting it? So when it goes to interact, it doesn't have to do anything. Like it's just like ding, like it's Whereas before, maybe they would go. That's why when I go there and I actually ring the bell, my thought process is if they have seen that bell at some point in time in their past, they understand the mechanics. If I walk up and I hit that top dinger thing and it goes bing, well, it's not using it for that for them. It's using the energy. But if they put their hand to that top of that bell, it's going to do it anyway.
Right.
That's why I like that dead bell, because it's something recognizable. Even in the 1800s, you go to a hotel in the 1800s, they had those bells.
Right. That is true. I wonder if it's something like when we speak, it's right distorted and they can't really tell what we're saying. So they sort of come closer to try and figure it out, which is what I would do. And
Sure.
that sets off the bell a couple times. And then when we keep going on and asking them questions and to do things, sometimes they just get tired and they're like, I can't figure this out. And they just walk away.
That's the beauty of it. We'll never know.
Yeah.
If you remember, there was a point in time when we was in the basement where we're like, we don't feel like this thing is here anymore.
Right.
Everything kind of stopped. But Jess
That's
was
when I
hearing
moved
that
the
stuff.
bell, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jess started getting those sounds that was on the stairway. And it's like, maybe at that point it moved. But I wish we would have had sensors in front of all those cameras to see, okay, does it move like a human? Because whatever came in that room, and it was Tommy's room, it went right past us.
Right.
So it would have walked in the same way we walked in.
Yeah, like you said before, it walked around obstacles. It wasn't, it wasn't just passing through.
Even when it went to beside that play area, that puppet thing, it stood beside it.
Right.
It didn't go through it. It stood beside it. You can see the silhouette on the wall.
Right.
And then you see it come back, and it's almost like it came back through it. I don't know. Everyone just has to watch this special when it comes out. I'm dying to know what everyone thinks. The sad part is, and the part that sucks, people's going to say we faked it.
I know, but I mean, we'll always know.
But here's the beautiful part. We will have all the original files from the DVR. You can go to the raw files yourself. You'll be able to see every single camera and you'll be able to look at them in real time.
I think people are trying to figure out if we faked it now, aren't they?
So I've gave it to 2 teams and they cannot, and we're talking about not, Jim Bob that lives down the road that thought he saw a ghost when he was high on the marijuana.
Not the 7-Eleven crew down the road or something like that.
Right. These are actual paranormal teams. They both have looked at it. And the only thing that they are 100% for sure on is it hasn't been faked. So we didn't create it.
That's good.
But they're a little confused. The number one thing that they come back to is they believe that it's possible that it might be some form of a refraction of light or a bending of light from refraction. But the only question I would ask is, how?
Right.
Like if you're refracting and there's a refraction of lighting, I don't think that it would move like that. But again, I think it's, whatever people want to believe, I think that's cool.
Yeah. And they are experts. Like, I mean, I would put a lot of weight into, like, they've seen a lot of things.
Oh, they know way more than Bert does. But like I sit there and I think it's cool that it's a concept, but it's like, yeah, but how is that? It's one thing like if I hear a knocking in the car and I go, yep, that's definitely the engine. Well, why do you think it's the engine? Like what makes you go straight to the engine? There's so many things on the engine. It's just, I've done this a long time. I think it's the engine. Like I want a little bit deeper of an explanation of, okay, well, light how's the light going to refract first off?
Yeah. And I mean, that's just a theory. And they're just like,
for sure.
They're saying maybe. I don't think from your wording that they're like, this is what it is. We're done.
No.
So
yeah, they're just assuming that it's a possibility that it could be that.
Yeah.
And that's what we need.
There's a lot of possibilities, I want to hear them.
I want to hear every single one of them. And I'm dying for people to tell us. I'll be honest with you. The hardest part of this whole thing is having this footage and not putting it out. It's so hard.
Yeah, I know. People keep asking about it.
Yeah. They're just dying to see it.
I'm doing a special screening of it. So
that's going to be so cool.
Yeah. I think it's going to be cool.
Well, as we go on, obviously, we're going to keep detailing some of the things that we find here and there, just so you guys understand, hey, we're finding stuff.
Yeah. And we're pumped about it.
it may not make it to the final video because, again, all these things that I talked about tonight, I might look at another camera and go, oh, no, that thud was just us in another room and we moved something and it fell over.
Right.
But that's the beauty of it. For I don't know how many times I turned my body camera off, but hopefully it was on the bulk of the wildwood.
Yeah. I think it's interesting now that we found out from your mom that there was something downstairs with you guys.
I know, dude. That's so creepy. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I think I was perfectly fine.
Well, we had a camera up there too in that Ouija board room.
Mm-hmm. That's where we moved one of them too, because the stairways were just nothing for us.
Nick and I,
that stairway,
we were in there and we could just never get anything to pop.
Nope.
But again, maybe it was the time frame.
Yeah, it could be. I really don't know. I think it would have been good to have something on that stairwell.
Yeah.
Because Jess was hearing stuff all the time on that.
But she was hearing it on the other one.
Oh, on the other one. I thought it was the one in the Ouija room.
It was the Ouija board room. But if you remember, we had the camera first off in the one where we wasn't here or we didn't get anything from.
Right. And we moved it to the Ouija room.
The other thing that I think we need to do going forward for investigations is counterintuitive.
Right.
I think if we hear something, we feel something, or we acknowledge something, we just say it right then and there.
Yeah.
Like if it's me and you and we're in a room. The other thing that I see a lot of times happen in these paranormal shows, and I don't per se like it, is they separate and they solo and investigate. Like, let's say you say, hey, from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning, you're going to be in this room trying to communicate. Here's the thing. I think that heightens your senses to a point to where everything then becomes paranormal versus if there's two of you in a room, you can say, hey, did you hear that knock? And if you were like, no, I didn't hear it. I'd be like, okay, well, maybe I didn't hear. And then I don't have that heightened sense of fight or flight because I don't care who you are. If you have things like this happen, it's a little startling to say that there's no fear. Cause like there was a couple points where I'm like, oh crap, like that was legit. Like that's let me put it to you this way. I was so enamored by the fact that things were happening and that things was responding, but in the same instance with a little bit of intrepidation, like, okay, like this isn't a TV show. Like this is happening right here.
Right. No, I went through that same thing too, because I didn't expect anything to happen. And
for sure.
When I first saw the recording of what was happening that we didn't know of, I was like, uh-oh, what are we doing? Like, was this a good idea?
Right. I don't know. It was a very good idea. But I want to be able to use that to also help families too. I think that might be, if anything, vital. And I think some of the tools I'm using is not tools that other people are using. And maybe that will help validate things for people. But I don't know. But what says you guys at home? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think we're going to put out there? Are you guys curious about it? Because I know I'm super curious about it. I kind of want to, I want to see what all we have. Sitting on all this footage and going through it so slowly, it feels like, it's like, I know that next camera's got something juicy on it. But I got to stay on the camera I'm on.
You're always one camera away from
always one camera. It's like the lottery, man.
Yeah, that's right. I think we hit the lottery, so I'm not looking for a double win.
I can tell you for sure, if we get nothing else, I'd be happy putting out what we've got now.
Yeah, agreed.
So anything else is just icing on the cake for me, unless I see something where I'm like, oh, wow. I will say, and I'm pretty sure I didn't imagine this, and I'm dying to get to camera 2 on night 1. There's a point where I'm sitting on the couch and Jess is sitting, I think she was technically asleep, on the chair on the other side. And I look up from my laptop because I was transferring files from my body cam. Yeah. And when I looked up, I saw the green dots not be on the wall to then slowly from right to left form on the wall.
Interesting.
So it's almost like something got in front of the laser pointer.
Oh,
But it's
did you
like,
guys not stay in a room?
no, we stayed in that front room.
Oh, on the couch?
Yes.
Oh, that's not comfortable.
Here's the thing. Full transparency. When things really started kicking off and then Jess saw that thing across the kitchen.
Yeah.
There's about a 0% chance she was willing to go upstairs. Yeah. So
I don't know. You guys aren't there for the danger. I'm there for the excitement.
Here's the thing. I would have gladly went up there and investigated even by myself. But once I saw how she was down there, I'm like,
yeah, gotta be a good guy. Can't abandon people.
So I'm like, whatever's happening up there. And that's the thing. I have no clue, with the exception of hearing those footsteps above us. I'm dying to see what's on the camera when those footsteps happen. But I don't know.
And neither do you yet.
Exactly. But you're gonna.
Nick,
it's our favorite time. It's our favorite time, Nick.
That's right. That's right.
Hopefully y'all are ready for this. I've been waiting on this for a while. This little tiny nightmares. Last time you got the nun.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? Where is she at?
And I got Chucky. My Chucky's upstairs. I can't show it to you guys. I'm sorry. But they got these creepy eyes.
I didn't even notice Michael Myers was on here.
Yes. And it is also on here.
My friend is terrified of Michael Myers, but yet she wants to be him on Halloween.
Maybe it'll reduce her fear.
5'3" Michael Myers, and people were still scared.
Oh man, that's funny though. All right,
I must open this from the wrong end or something.
They're tough. I will give it that. They made it kind of tough to get into these things.
They wanted it to be a blind box.
They really did. For anyone that doesn't know, and it kind of shows it on the back here, these are all the different characters that you can get. And so far we got is Chucky and the Nun. So hopefully we don't get Chucky and the Nun. It was a chore. It took me a second to get into mine too.
I'm going to let you go first.
All right, let's see what we got. I'm opening it now. I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to try to figure out the front. This appears to be the front. And we've got...
Uh-oh.
Oh, I got the Nun. I got what Nick got last time.
Does that mean I'm going to get Chucky?
Oh, no.
Is there something else in the bag? Oh, yeah. It's a plastic thing, right?
Yeah, it's the plastic thing.
Okay. Oh. You know what? I did think I took the demon with me.
Why?
Because he's on my side.
Oh, look at that.
Michael Myers.
What's in his eyes?
Ooh, someone with a gun?
Oh.
Probably Laurie Strode.
That's what I was going to say, but it's Laurie Strode. You know, after this moment, there was only 2 left when I went to the Myers. This was a while back. And when I went in there, there was only 2 left, and I bought those 2 also. So I've got technically 2 more upstairs.
The lady at the gaming store is going to be happy to see me because I haven't been there for a while. And every time I go, I get like an armful of these things.
Well, I didn't tell everyone. I found another website that has these upside down boxes.
Oh, okay.
Because the first website I bought them on sold out. So now I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
And you got enough for the next rest of the year, maybe.
Here's the thing. If I don't get the whole freaking collection out of this, I'm going to be mad.
I have not got a full collection of any, but I've got quite a few up there now.
I will be so mad if I've got 12 wills and they're all at the freaking airport.
Oh my God.
You will see me
That'd be
lose.
so awful.
You would see me lose my stuff live on a podcast. But what says you guys are home? What do you think we're going to get? You think we're going to get anything good? That's what I'm dying to know. Tell us in the comments down below.
Yeah, I just had to text that picture of Michael Myers.
To me?
No.
Or to your friend?
My friend. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, until we see you in the next podcast, goodbye.